But if you're able to uncover a lot of the bad stuff, if you're able
Yes.
to actually give them an ability to speak out against what happened beforehand, that's the best way to, I think, really have a government that is totally fixed, that is working in a way that's actually working for the American people.
To Luke's point, when Amy Rohrbach, I think she was at ABC News, I'm 99% sure, she was caught on that hot mic saying that we had Jeffrey Epstein, we had him dead to rights. Buckingham Palace called us. They tried to kill the story, and they killed it. We had all the receipts and everything like that. And then this was a huge brouhaha. Kevin McCarthy, who I think at the time was House Minority Leader, sent the head of ABC a sternly worded letter being like, what the hell? Like, you have blood on your hands. Explain yourselves. They, of course, did nothing because that was the old Republican way of doing things. This is the kind of thing where it's like, okay, maybe this bitch is lying. Sit us down under oath. You walk us through this. How did you have the receipts on this international human trafficker? And you're like, this story's not interesting because we don't want Queen Elizabeth to be mad at us as Americans.
Yeah, we want interviews with the royal family.
Right. As Americans.
The royal family is a bunch of people connected to a bunch of people that a family-friendly show here. You're on YouTube, so that rarely do horrible things to small children. I'll just say it like that, right?
And can I interrupt, Luke? Google Lord Mountbatten.
Yeah. Look at Jimmy Savile. How about that one? All right, get ready to be really freaked out about that one. Edward Heath and all these other individuals. Look at so many of the top European royalty, all interconnected, not just to these secret societies, but to these larger child trafficking operations. We just got news a couple of days ago, specifically with Prince Andrew being terrified of flying back to the United States or setting foot on U.S. soil now. I like that.
I want
that a lot. Yeah, and this is such an important story because I've been talking about this for so many years. The corporate media was promoting Epstein. They were talking about how great of a philanthropist he was, how great of a person he was. VH1 was doing specials about him. And I'm like, hey, there's a whole underground network of child traffickers out there that are a part of the richest people in the world doing some of the most heinous, awful things that you can't even fathom to small babies and children. And people are like, you're a crazy conspiracy theorist. You're insane. Now we're living in a reality. You ask the average person, hey, did Jeffrey Epstein off himself? And they're like, nope, he definitely didn't. Yeah. And it's common knowledge now that a lot of the elites play by a different set of the rules. And now they are freaking out because for the first time in a long time, they're actually being threatened with accountability.
I'm never at my most leftist as during this because the point is extremely powerful people shouldn't be too comfortable.
Yeah.
Because when extremely powerful people get very comfortable, they start doing really degenerate things just because they can. Exactly. There's a human sense of I'm engaging in evil just because I could get away with it. I'm different from them down there. I'm like some humanized deity. Yeah. So it's a very good thing where they're like, when they're like, I'm scared to go to this country because I might get arrested. Good. I want that.
Yeah, a lot of these elitist people, it's like they're in the video game, but they have all the cheat codes. When you have all the cheat codes, you start doing more wild and wild stuff just to see if you could kind of get away with it, just see if you could do it. Human psychology works the same way in a lot of these kind of inner circles where it's like, look what I could do now, just to get some kind of feeling and emotion since they feel like they kind of hacked life and have all the money and power and influence. And, we kind of see remnants of that with the kind of Diddies, with the Weinsteins, the Epsteins, and all these other big players that were untouchable for many years. A lot of the people were saying, hey, these guys are doing some awful things. These guys are hurting women, children. These guys are really predatory, real monsters out there. And everyone kind of made inside jokes about it. Everyone mentioned it. Everyone kind of talked about it in a very kind of sly way, but there was no ramifications for it. I think for the first time in a long time, and I think this is why they're kind of pushing back Kash Patel's confirmation. I think the FBI is trying to get their ducks in a row because I think they're in full panic mode right now, specifically with their larger involvement in this trafficking operation, which they knowingly played a role in ever since the 1990s. In the 1990s, there were children coming to them from Epstein-connected individuals saying, hey, these guys are doing all this horrible stuff to us. Can you please stop them? The FBI ignored them. So what that news reporter, Amy Rohrbach,
can I interrupt? Because some people are listening. Luke's not telling the truth. That's not possible. If you think Luke's a crazy person, which is your prerogative, look up what happened in Rotherham in England and how many young girls went to the cops and were like, I was assaulted. And if you read the ways they were assaulted, it's even more horrific than you think. And the cops were like, well, you were asking for it. You shouldn't have gone down there, or we don't want to come off as racist. So this is in court documents. This isn't crazy Luke on some weird message board. This isn't, we got once took Aya in Honduras and we saw this vision. These are receipts in British court in sworn testimony.
Yeah, but Trump's former Department of Transportation gave Epstein a sweetheart deal of a lifetime in Florida, where the children that were being hurt here were called prostitutes. Like, literally, that's how evil and backwards and everything just was.
And
can I say one more thing? Yeah.
Ask your people listening to this, like, maybe it just takes me like to Caesar Milan your neck to like be like, oh yeah, Epstein can't be the only one. It's not like the guy had a monopoly on this. So it's presented as if, well, we got Epstein, the problem went away. How could there be just one guy in this industry?
Yeah, it's not just one island. It's multiple. Right. It's multiple individuals. It's multiple Boeing 727s. It's multiple nefarious big players out there, some of which still haven't been kind of held accountable here.
Do you know what I think it is? I think the average human is very low empathy. Right? They can't think in terms of how other people think, because they think we're taught this in school. Everyone's pretty much the same. Like, maybe Luke, you like different music than I do. Maybe I'm, have a shorter temper than you do. But when push comes to shove, we're all the same under the skin. And one of the reasons I wrote The White Pill, and you and I talk about this constantly, there are levels of evil that it would never enter your head to do. If I was given the opportunity, or you were given the opportunity, or everyone listen to this, vast majority, to do some of these things, here's a kid, go ahead, it would be like, are you insane? You're a monster. Your brain would just recoil to even the thought, because you're not wired like these people.
And that's how they get away with it, because they commit acts that you can't even think about. You can't even imagine you ever going there. So your purview of understanding that these people are capable of such evil is just something that your mind just can't comprehend. I was interviewing child victims in Rotterdam. The Rotterdam situation was insane. And I think it was Joris Demming was the specific predator out there that I think is still kind of loose running around. I have to go back into my years of research, because I was doing this like 14, 15 years ago. I went to Holland to talk about this, but the story is so crazy that last time during Trump's administration, he not only appointed the Department of Transportation to be one of kind of the guy who let Epstein go here, who later came out and said that he was an intel asset, but William Barr, the Attorney General of the United States, conducted a cover-up operation of Epstein's demise, while also going to Epstein. The DOJ went to Epstein and said, give us dirt on Trump. If you give us dirt on Trump, we'll give you a slap on the wrist. We'll make it easy for you. This is Epstein's cellmate that came out and spoke out recently. This is only a few weeks old, and specifically was detailing how the DOJ was trying to make Epstein say something against Trump in order to implicate Trump with all of this. And then he met his demise. So Trump's own DOJ was working to set him up during his own administration when he was president of the United States, run by William Barr, whose father gave Jeffrey Epstein his start at the Dalton Math School. So that's how crazy this entire situation was. And if you're Trump, you're kind of seeing the tea leaves here. You're seeing they try to get Epstein to snitch on me. They try to get Epstein to be a witness against me. And when I was president for my own DOJ, that revelation right there is probably why Donald Trump is as ballsy, is as FU as he is right now, because I know I would be. And then they took shots at me, and then they tried to put me in jail for 700 years. Game over, guys. I'm not playing nice anymore.